Hi and welcome to Beginner Bonsai. Today we are looking at Hornbeam. This is the last in the series so far of my beginner bonsais. Naturally they have very large leaves, but when they're in a pot and they're restricted, their leaves are much smaller. As I say, you can wire them very well. They are very flexible. You can use guy wires, which is when you attach a wire to a pot and loop it around the branch and just use that to bend it down, or you can wire up the trunk and each individual branch and wire that way. These are a very popular tree in bonsai, and the reason why, well, there are multiple reasons why. The branching is the branching structure doesn't need to be forced. It naturally does what you want in bonsai, which is take you from one branch to the next as you go up the tree. They are very flexible. You can wire them very well, but on saying that, you don't really have to because they already have lots of movement in the trunk naturally. Every time they make a new branch, they move. So you get a branch here, so the tree does this, and then you get a branch here, so the tree does that. You get a tree that bends on its own, wiggles on its own. I would not recommend using all of this tree. There's a lot of tree for your money here in this pot. So you could easily air layer parts of this tree so you get more trees for your money, or you could just cut it back and take cuttings from it. I do believe hornbeams make excellent cuttings, although I can't personally attest to that because it's too soon. I do have some cuttings in soil and we'll see how they go. Now, personally, if I had this tree, I would probably call this the front. Reason being, you've got a nice branch here, a nice branch here, some branching around the back, nothing in the way of that trunk until you get to here, which would make a nice, and this would make a nice apex. We have a little branch, for some reason, we have a little branch here that's creeping around from the back to the front. So you may want to wire that, or just let it do its thing and see how it goes. Now, you don't have to keep all of this tree if you don't want to. The shorter you cut it, the thicker the trunk in essence is. You may want to just let it grow as many leaves as possible and thicken up that way, and you may want the tree even taller than it is instead of shorter. So, it is entirely up to you. But I do think that this is perfect as it is right now as a starter tree. And to thicken the trunk more and make it look more refined, all you have to do is just let it grow leaves and keep feeding it and watering it. So feeding, I have on my website a calendar. The calendar will tell you what my schedule is. I have every other Wednesday I feed seaweed, and when I'm not feeding seaweed, I'm feeding bonsai food. The bonsai food I use is just a balanced, I believe it's a 5-5-5. It feeds the tree, it doesn't push growth too much, so you don't get lots and lots of growth that the roots can't sustain. So that's what bonsai fertilizer is. It's balanced so that your tree doesn't have too much growth for the roots. And seaweed encourages healthy roots, so you get a good root system which can then handle more top growth. So that's why I do. That's why I feed that way. If you didn't want to follow my routine and you wanted to do your own, that's absolutely fine. I would recommend feeding either just watering for a week or just giving seaweed for a week, and regardless of what I was doing, and then do your own thing from there. But if you want a set routine, follow that. I am not religious with the day, although I say do it on a Wednesday. That's just a rule of thumb, as it were. It's just to help me know which week is which. But if it's going to be a cold night, or if it's going to be raining heavily and it'll just wash all the food out of the soil, I don't do it that day. I might do it Thursday, Friday, and I just catch up the next week. Or if I know that the end of the week is going to be awful, I may do it a day earlier. Yeah, we live in England and our weather is unpredictable, so I would recommend being a little bit flexible with your feeding. Just do the best you can. If it's, as I said before, if it's really hot and dry and your trees are going to get stressed, don't feed them. It will just promote more growth than they can handle. The more leaves they have, the more water they will lose. So, they won't do well if you keep pushing for them to grow too much. Just give them seaweed and water if they're stressed or if it's too hot and dry. But yeah, other than that, you're welcome to follow my calendar. If you have any questions, you're welcome to contact me and I will help you as best as I can. You will find me at the Malton Market. You are welcome to come up to me and talk to me. I love that. Most importantly with these trees is have fun, enjoy yourself. These trees really are a blank canvas. The worst that can happen is that you can bend it too much and cause it to snap. What happens then? Well, it hopefully will grow again. I mean, it depends on how badly you've snapped it and where you've snapped it, but it should grow again. Just cut it back cleanly where the snap is and water it, give it seaweed and keep watching it. It should start growing again, hopefully. That is the worst that can happen, and I've had it happen to me. I've snapped a tree and it did upset me, I won't lie, but the tree is doing fine. It's still growing. It's not the shape that I wanted it to be, but it will become a different shape and it will still be beautiful and I will still love it. So that's the thing. So yeah, just keep working with them. Try not to overwork them too much. If you've got the one tree, try to do more planning than work. It can be difficult because obviously you want to get on with it, but be gentle. Remember, it's a living thing. Keep feeding it, keep watering it, and try to decide exactly what you want your tree to look like before you start working on it, and keep to your guns. So don't just decide, well, I can bend this all the way down, it will make a really nice cascade, and then decide later on, well, actually I want it to be an informal upright now. You do need to stick with it. Would I recommend making this a cascade? No. No, I wouldn't recommend making this a cascade. You probably could, but that would be quite a sharp bend for a tree that's been growing upwards. It's better not to force a tree to be something that it's not. The best way to make a cascade is to find a branch. I mean, for this one, for example, there is a bud here. It's not doing anything right now, and I would not recommend cutting off the tree to there to make it grow. But if you had a branch there and you decided you wanted to make a cascade, you could let that grow and wire it and play with it. And the great thing is, if you just do that and then you decide, actually, I don't like it, if you've left the rest of the tree alone or some of the tree alone in the meantime, and you decide, actually, you know what, that looks awful, I don't like that at all, you've not lost anything. So you can do that. You can just chop that branch off and nobody will know that you've changed your mind except you. And yeah, it really won't hurt. So yes, with this tree as it is, I would not recommend trying to make that a cascade. You will probably bend the trunk too much, possibly break it. It's quite a thick trunk, although it is still quite flexible, and you will probably not be able to make it bend enough. So it would probably end up looking forced. So yes, with this tree, I would recommend any upright shape, really. Informal upright, possibly a windswept. You could take some of these off and just have, you know, a lot of these branches are already going one way, so you could easily take off the branches that aren't and just encourage it to form a windswept tree. The possibilities really are quite endless with this. So there are lots of things you can try with it. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I hope you're able to take something away that's helpful. If you have enjoyed this video, please give a like and subscribe so that you don't miss any more. Thank you very much.